So, you may remember, you may have seen a half review of one of these, the Azulle Lynk Multifunctional Remote Control. I bought a second-hand one off their Azulle's website. You can buy second-hand items off their website, except it didn't come with everything it needed. It didn't come with a receiver. The people there very nicely sent me a brand new one instead of just the replacement receiver, which was missing. So today arrived a brand new one, which came with the receiver, came with the remote, came with 2 batteries to put in the bottom, which was handy. It also came with a great big instructions there, which is pretty handy. Very handy, except it didn't come with like a get started guide, but I figured it out. Plugs in the receiver into the computer, and then you do a little dance where you press a couple of buttons at the same time, and I don't know, it's supposed to flash or something, but anyway, suddenly it was working. So, thank you. It's very handy to now have a functioning device. Very grateful for that. And so far, I think it's going to be a nice addition to our lounge room. So, a quick rundown then on how it works and what I thought about it. Let's just see if it works from here. My computer I'm using is like about 7 meters away, and we have a mouse. Oh yeah, look at that. Works nicely. And let's just see if I can use the keyboard. I can't even see what I'm typing, but yeah, it's getting all of that. Cool. Okay, so it works from quite a distance. Yeah, 6, 7 meters away. I can't even read what I'm writing. So the general features are like a lot of these things. It has both an IR blaster on here on the front, so you can program that to then do a couple of different things. Mostly, I suspect most people just want to program it just to turn their screen on and off, like a TV screen. It looks like you can program more than just that. You can program a number of the different key presses on here, on this side, it appears to be. Let me just check that that's true. Yeah. So it looks like pretty much most of what you can program is on this side, except say you can't program the mic button, you can't do the mouse on and off button or the Windows button, and the on-screen keyboard button. So everything else but a handful of them you can program to control a typical IR device, which is good. And then it appears to be, although I haven't done it just yet, but you can flip between IR use and using the controls here to control a computer instead. So, for instance, as it is at the moment, if I use the arrow keys here on this little thumb sort of pad, it moves the computer around. It works as an air mouse as well, so as I'm moving this, the mouse on the screen is moving around. And you have one way to turn that on and off with a dedicated button there to turn the mouse movement on and off. And I've also found that when you flip it over to use the keyboard on the other side, the mouse deactivates. So while you're typing, you can type away nicely without the mouse wandering off somewhere else. Now the other main differences between this and quite a few of the other sort of devices out there is the inclusion of a right mouse button. So most of the devices are designed for like an Android type TV interaction. This one has a few more Windows features. So it has a right mouse button, which can be very handy at times if you want to do a right click, as I do find myself doing, which is great, and has a left click in the middle. And the other specific features, it has a Windows key there, so we can quickly launch the Windows Start menu, and also, by the way, it has a little Windows key on the keyboard too. And then finally it has a microphone, so we can use it to do, "Hey Cortana, what is the weather like today?"
The forecast shows partly sunny skies with a high of 25 and a low of 18.
There you go. So that's handy. A couple more just general features. It has a nighttime backlit keyboard. Does it? Yeah, just the keyboard. I don't know if you can see that. It's going to be hard to get it to see in this light, but I'm sure in a dark room with the sun down, it'll be plenty bright enough. Turn that on and off. And so the keyboard is missing the numbers row, so we just have to press the symbol key and then you get numbers back at the top. And if you want the function F1, F3, F2, so on, you have a little function button over here, and then they'll become function keys. You have lots of little extra symbols there, which you can access with the symbol button pressed simultaneously. We have a shift and caps lock, and it's all pretty normal. You have an alt tab, which you can do if you're used to alt tabbing around the place. That's all functioning. Some dedicated arrow keys, which is quite nice because not many of them have that. Well, my old one did. Anyway. So let's just compare a couple of little things to this old one that I used to use, the Rye. I think it's like that's RII. I think it was an M25 something. Anyway, you can see it just by looking at it and you go, that's the one, I know that one. This one was a bit of a pain because the volume buttons were only IR, and if you want to do volume on the computer, you have to press down a function key and then find volume up and volume down, which is always fiddly. The other thing with this though is it has a very definite keyboard click sound. The downside though was that its wireless sending wasn't consistent, and so if maybe it had a weak signal, I'm not too sure, but you press a key press and it didn't always go through. Whereas so far in my testing, by comparison, this one is nearly silent. Yeah, it's doing stuff. Nearly silent, but in typing a few things into search windows and so on, I haven't noticed it missing at all. It seems to be quite responsive. I'm just going to cancel this because I pressed something by accident. Let's go back over here instead. So I'm using this quite happily from over here. The mouse maybe seems a little slower for some reason. Cool. There, so on the mouse, this one was quite a quick mouse movement. This one you can change the speed, and its default setting, oh, that's better. I wonder what happened. This default setting was a bit slow, and you can do some combination button presses and it goes faster, although yeah, I think it changed. There was no acknowledgement that it changed, but I think it did. It feels slightly faster, I think. And that's that. What else is there to say? It's a little bit sharp. I mean, it generally feels pretty good in the hand overall. These buttons are all rubberized. Like I said, no definite click, but you can sort of feel a bit of a click. These buttons are rubberized mostly, except for the, they call it a D-pad? I can't remember. Anyway, those ones are harder, and they've got a nice definite click sound. So, yeah. And they operate Kodi, for instance, just like you expect. There's a home button, do something. I did do it before, anyway. But one little gripe, I guess, is just that these edges are just a bit sharp feeling on the top and bottom. Just a bit, it's not very nice in the hand there. But that's a pretty minor complaint. Normally you're holding it like this, or you're holding it like this, and it's fine like that. Overall, I'm happy. Yeah. I think it's going to be a definite improvement upon this one, which died. Volume, dedicated volume buttons on here work the volume on the computer as I always wanted it to. And I have my right mouse button, Windows button standby, so on off button there for putting the computer into standby mode. Beautiful. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the quick review. Any questions, put them below, and I will see you next time.